meet another group of students from Virginia who have been working with their community in Fairfax to create a special kind of wetlands called a vernal pool.
I'm Christopher Roskind, and I'm with Linear Middle School Eco Club, and today we're building a vernal pool.
A vernal pool is a type of wetland that is seasonal. It holds water, and you see water on the surface in the form of a small pond, but it only lasts for part of the year.
In German, actually, they call it a Himmelsteich, a pond from heaven, and the reason that they call it that is because it's not fed by streams usually or any other water sources, but by the rain that falls down from the sky.
We call them a vernal pool because vernal means spring, and it's in the springtime when these aquatic environments, these wetlands, are sort of the most full of water and teeming with all kinds of living organisms. Invertebrates, aquatic insects, amphibians. That's when they're sort of at their peak of activity. Every season there's something different. They are dry meadowlands in the summer. There are these full aquatic realms in the winter. In spring, they festoon with wildflowers. So because they're different in every season, there is this whole ebb and flow of different animals and plants that's different in every season. This little tiny temporary pond in the forest, though it may only be the size of your living room, services a whole forest community on the order of about 1 square mile. And so every common type of wildlife you could think of, deer and songbirds and raccoons, would be able to utilize that. A lot of animals in migration, like ducks, can use these as a stopover to rest and feed. And then there is amphibians. And without that little pond in this larger forest, that whole community of thousands of amphibians wouldn't be able to reproduce. So it's crucial for that whole community of amphibians to exist. Why are they important? Turns out salamanders are more essential to the stability of a whole forest than deer or songbirds are. And it's because they're situated in the middle of the food web. Amphibians are right here in the middle. All the critters that eat them are up here, but all the critters that they eat are down here. And the transfer of energy, say from insects through amphibians that eat them to larger predators like owls and hawks that eat the salamanders, is critical upon this group of critters. If all of those mid-level predators and prey, the salamanders, were removed, that whole forest ecosystem would collapse.
Vernal pools are special areas that often get built over. They're not recognized as anything important, so they could easily get taken over by houses or roads. It just looks like a puddle. So that's why we need to be really bringing them back. We've lost over 90% and probably a lot closer to 99% of vernal pool habitat in this area.
We're going to be digging out the first foot of soil. Then there's people carting the dirt away in wheelbarrows, and they have people raking leaves away so that we can extend the vernal pool a little bit.
I'm raking up leaves so we could put it back in a specific place to help the pool's environment.
And then we're going to pack down the soil. After that, the water should be able to sit on top of the soil.
Showing them that this is a watershed right here, you have a wetland right here next to the school, and the school was built on a wetland, they can make the connection.
The vernal pool, it should last for as long as Cutner Park does, which hopefully a couple more centuries.
The high school biology teacher started a program, and with his high school students, they learned to identify vernal pools. They learned to collect that data in a systematic fashion and inventory formally each and every vernal pool they could find in their neighborhood of Reading, Massachusetts. They submitted the information, and then the state protected over 10,000 vernal pools. And most other states, whether it's in New England or down here in the South or out in California, that have turned their attention to these types of wetlands, they have followed followed the model of what was started by high school students in Massachusetts. That's the magic.